Making the high country pathway, which is about a 80-mile loop. Probably the only place in lower northern Michigan I know of you can do an 80-mile loop trail. And a lot like the Jordan River, woods, water, about 3, 4, maybe 5 billion ticks. Anyway, I hope to knock it out in 3.5, 4 days. So I just sat down for my stroopwafel. I mean, I haven't been sitting here 10 seconds and I noticed this guy walking around on me. And there's probably a dozen more on me someplace. I just haven't found them yet. He's looking for a blood meal. Luckily these guys can't fly. Well, this one can. I got a guy walking like a turtle in front of me. I gotta pass him. So as courteous as I was, like a mountain biker coming up behind me, I said, "On your left." But he still got snappy with me. So the Black River Bridge is out, and they had a detour, but the detour sign didn't say how many miles. It was at 1 mile, it was at 50 miles. And so I decided to ford the river. Stay on the pathway. I would have videoed it, but that means I have to get wet twice, so I'm just gonna get wet once. Man, I'd like a bear claw right now. Maybe raspberry filling. Good morning. Gonna beat the sun today. Walk a little bit, watch it rise. I did have to deal with quite a few ticks last night when I got into bed. I had about 6 of them on me, so they're pretty thick out here. But luckily I treated my clothes for Florida, and it's still effective because a lot of them were pretty lethargic, and only one of them had stuck me. So I got water at Rattlesnake Creek. Then I climbed up here on Rattlesnake Hill. Got a beautiful view across the valley, having my stroopwafel. Sun's not quite up yet, but it's trying. Someone must have known I was coming. They left this beautiful chair up here for me. Dedicated probably to a deceased trail maintainer. You know, when you get your name on a chair, you're in trouble. Sun's popping up through the trees. Really hasn't been too cold this morning. I did get not much Wi-Fi out here if you're planning on doing this loop, but I did have some last night, and I must have said in one of my comments I was coming out here because someone was asking me already what the trail conditions are like. And actually I've only done a quarter of the trail so far, but it's been excellent. They've been out here doing spring cleaning already. I haven't had to climb over too much, and what I have had to climb over looks like fresh fall, so they have been through. Easy trail to navigate. If you're just going to use the DNR map, which has numbered intersections, I would think twice about that. Get a map or an app that is better suited for this hike, because the numbers on that map, there's no numbers on the ground to work with it, so you're not going to know where you're at unless you have some mapping material. And when I said ticks, boy, there are a lot of ticks out here. But I have to say that spray I put on my clothing is still working. I put that on before I went on the Florida Trail, and they say it does last a while. So ticks that I have found are still alive, but they're pretty lethargic, not moving much, and I think that stuff works. I'll continue to use that. I've said before, I don't know if I'm going to die from ticks or spray, but I guess I'll stick with spray for right now. When that sun starts to fly and it's time to peel layers, I know it's time for my second breakfast. Beautiful out here this morning. It's gonna be a beautiful day. I think I picked a good weather window. So I've said this in videos before, but it never fails to be true. So I haven't seen anybody in 2 days. And I cross this little 2-track here, and I think, well, it's a nice little clearing. The sun hits me. I think I'll take a bacon break. And I lay down, I'm looking up in the trees, I'm listening to the birds, it's peaceful, and a big Ford F-150 comes up the road. And I have to move. What are the chances? Yeah, if something happens to you and you hit that inReach button, it could take several hours for help to arrive. So what you really want to do first, and I think it would even work better, is just stop and take a leak. Somebody's sure to come by at that exact moment. So this approximate 12 by 20 mile chunk of land is, I think, the largest contiguous undeveloped land in Michigan, northern lower Michigan, I believe. So this morning we've got yellow-bellied sapsucker, pine warbler, wood pewee, of course the ever-faithful ovenbird. Everybody's happy this morning. So I don't know if this is fresh spring trail maintenance or not. This is a ski trail, cross-country ski trail in the winter, so it's very well maintained. Easy follow trail. You've got no problem getting lost out here. You don't even need a map. Basically follow the blue blazes. I'm going counterclockwise. Again, if you're using a map, a DNR map with the numbers on it, there's no numbers on the ground to coordinate with that map. So if you want to know where you are all the time, you better have another app or a different map. So it's not all solitude out here. Michigan, back in the 70s, hit what they called the Niagara Reef, which went diagonally across the state, and it was a rich oil field that actually Shell was hitting like 5% of their wells worldwide and hitting 50%, I think, in this Niagara Reef. And some of those wells are still pumping today. But then after that, which I saw another one of these operations this morning that looked more like gas. So they hit shallow gas just about everywhere you punched a hole, they hit gas. And so that kind of operation is still going on out here. Plus, you run into a lot of pipeline right-of-ways besides 2 tracks and roads. Crossed a lot of pipeline. So there is plenty of water on this loop, but you know, I'm doing 25+ mile days, so of course I hit twice as many water sources as you would if you were doing half that. So if you are hiking slower, my suggestion would be to carry at least 2 liters of water, because creeks are kind of few and far between. You know, I don't like road walking. Yep, I got some of that. I don't think too much, but I just saw another couple of backpackers, a couple from down around Ann Arbor, Michigan. They're going clockwise. They've been out here 4 days. They're probably gonna make a 5-day trip out of it. So 100 years or so ago, this was known as the Pine Barrens, and Ernest Hemingway called it wild as the devil and the greatest I've ever been in. It's now the Pigeon River Country State Forest, I believe it's called, and it's home to one of the largest free-roaming elk herds east of the Mississippi, but I haven't seen any.